Well, welcome. This is our Monday night meeting of the mind. Let me get this set up here. Let's see, my videos. This thing's so slow. And content, live. Oh, darn this thing. Save. I wish this thing would work. They need to fix this thing. Never holds a setting. Save. Edit. Customization. Live chat. Save. I wonder if that other one has got live chat saved. At least that's saved. How many views has that one got? Yeah, not that many. All right, we got 2 viewers in the Stunt Hangar Zoom meeting. If you'd like to join us, check out the bench, Stunt Hangar, and come on in. So we got there, and need to get my other big screen TV in here so I can really see what I'm doing. Let's see here, my videos of content, YouTube. Let's go here. We don't have any chatters yet. Turn on. Current viewers is one. It says 3 likes with 1 viewer. Okay, whatever. Anyway, I got some of this crappy red pinstripe tape and just wanted to see what it was going to look like, and it's definitely going to get striped in red. But not this tape. This tape is junk. Junk, junk, junk. Get some ATX on it, clean that glue off. Yeah. This stuff is. Picking up a little, good evening, Roy. Picking up a little overspray on this rag, so that's good. Don't want any of that sealed under the clear. You guys better come in and talk to me. I don't know, Charles used to put on a spiel that took about a half an hour. I just don't have it in me. I already did an hour today. So I think as soon as somebody comes in and could take this over, I need to get some more waypoints done, some circles, so that I can lay out this scallops. Can't do them without waypoints and make them look perfect. I know some of you guys wanted me to paint these checks green. It just was not in my purview to do it. It just was outside the box. I don't think it would look good. Too much green. There we go, Roy. Thank you. There comes Fred. I don't know. I don't know what Fred it is, but well, thank you. Fred, you got to turn your camera on or your microphone. Fred, I can't hear you. You have you have no you have no mic. I can't hear you. No cam, no mic. Can you guys hear me okay? Oh, you're trying to use OBS. You got to designate the camera in OBS. Great. There you go. All gone. Oh, well. Can you guys hear me okay? Beads, bells, bangles, incense, and crash pads. Testing, testing, testing. Okay. Okie dokie. Let's see. Let's make this big here. Pull it this away. Yeah, I got to get my big screen TV up here. That way I can watch everything. Loud and clear. Very good. Well, I just don't know what to say. I mean, this happens every night that I do this hangout with nobody in here. Get the feeling you guys are mad at me or something. Well, it's too bad I gotta throw these away. Ain't good for nothing. Good for nothing. There's Joe Gilbert.
Well done, Sparky. Well done.
I'm working on it.
Making good progress.
It's yellow.
And black and white.
I've never seen a yellower yellow than that.
That's yellow.
The standard Randolph color, lemon yellow.
Lemon yellow. Yellow can be tricky. It can be see-through if you ain't careful. Looks good.
It looks like it has a tint of green in it, if you ask me.
Does it really? I don't see it on the TV. It looks pretty yellow.
You saw my shoestring, right?
Right.
That's chartreuse. I think if I added cream, Dana cream to this, it would be the same color as the shoestring.
Might be. That's more yellow than a J3 Cub by far. Lemon yellow is a good word for that, I think.
Well,
let me see the cockpit. You got a nice looking cockpit in it too, looks like.
Yeah. Hang on a second. I'll show you.
Just me and you, nobody else on?
No, Gary Sinclair came on.
Good.
I'm here.
Good, Gary. Good to see you. Hello. Yeah, nice looking canopy. Good show.
Let me get this off here.
Well done, Robert. I like the stunt news too. That's good.
That's the stunt history book.
The stunt history book. That's cool. Well done.
You see his headset on there?
I do. He's a sporting pilot. Well done. Well done. Went out and flew. I guess we flew last Saturday all day long. It was a beautiful day. I think I got in 5 flights, maybe 6 even. Gave a guy a lesson, so that counts too.
Well, I'm ready for winter to be over.
It's not time yet.
What do we got? Another month?
At least. At least. All of February can be mean. You haven't flown either one of those. You haven't flown that CARAMBA, have you?
Caramba.
You haven't flown it, have you?
One flight.
Did you fly it? Well, good.
Yeah. Too cold. I mean, it's pretty crappy.
Oh, it's snowing here, I think, right now. It's cold. It's going to be 6 degrees in the morning. No, correction. 9 degrees in the morning.
It was 4 degrees here.
Woo! So I'm going to show you what I've been doing. How do I turn it up like this? Can you see those?
I see those, but you got to point them down.
Okay.
Get your hand
I need to turn the camera around. Let's see. More, share, stop. How do you do that?
Excuse me.
Go to your is he on your iPad?
Uh-huh.
Go to your camera, open up the camera and reverse.
There you go. There. Now I'm cooking. The grandkids are starting to learn tricks, so I built them a pair of tutors.
Let me see the canopies.
Oh, there is no canopy. It's a gray silver.
It doesn't have the butt ugly shape.
Well, that's a stock tutor.
Oh, okay.
Right out of the box. Built a couple of them. The kids, when you start teaching kids stunt, things can go south pretty quick.
They won't last long.
They won't last long. That's right. Yeah, it's snowing. We got snow on the ground. Holy crap. The ground's white.
It was 4 degrees here this morning.
It's 20 right here right now, but it's snowing. The ground is white. It's okay.
I think when it gets super cold, it can't snow.
I've heard that, but I've been in Nebraska at 0 degrees and snow. So I don't know if all that's true. I think it depends on the upper heights temperatures. There's a lot of, I've seen it snow at cold, 0, up in Nebraska. But it might be warmer up high. I don't know.
But I got to tell you, it was a great day for painting today. 40% humidity.
Well, that day I called you, I shot that sucker and didn't even think about blushing. Even though it was like 48% humidity, the dew point was 0. The water's froze out of the air. There's no water in there,
Right.
And those are just painted in Brodak dope, Keep it. Those aren't stunt chips to take to the nats, Robert. Those are just, you get the kids on the handle and set them in your lap and just do tricks, and they will die.
Those are future junior championship airplane.
I built them so they couldn't take them to. Can a junior fly an airplane that they didn't build at the nats? I don't think they can. They have to. I don't know the rule on that, but they didn't.
I don't think so.
They didn't build those airplanes. None of
I
it.
think junior, senior, open all have to be builder of the model, because
That's what I think. That's exactly.
And advanced, or the beginner, intermediate, and advanced. You don't have to be the builder of the model. You just won't.
That's right. That's right. That's right. But I think a true junior has to get in the Walker Cup to win it. He has to be builder of the model compliant. I am very certain.
Well, there's the guy to ask right there.
What's that?
Bob Hunt's here.
I was showing Robert I built a couple tutor kits, the tutor 1 for the kids to learn how to do tricks. And I said they couldn't fly them at the nats because I built them. The junior has to comply with the builder of the model too, I am certain.
But they could fly in beginner, intermediate.
Right.
Right. Right. They're not even ready. They just flown level and done loops and inverted. They haven't done tricks on their own yet at all. We're not even close to that.
Well, the trick is to keep it off the ground.
I've built 5 airplanes since last summer to help them. I'm going to get a chair that I can sit in and have my feet on the ground and put them in my lap, put my hand around in front of them. And we're going to do tricks where they're sitting in my lap, where they can have their hand out in front of their face and see if it helps any.
Get a swiveling bar stool.
That's exactly what I got.
And get video of that. I want to see that.
Yeah, we'll do that too. I got great plans. We'll see how it works. But they need to learn to fly upside down next. They both soloed probably 8 or 10 times. It's time. I had one of them out and we did some 8s and loops and then loops and inside and outside inverted. But when you're standing up trying to lean over them to help them, it's pretty tough.
Are you putting your hand over their hand at the handle and forcing them through maneuvers?
No, typically I got a double handle. It's got a handle they put their hand on. Then I got a T-bar.
Yeah.
Then I put my hand on the outside.
Robbie
That way
learned
they
the
can turn
pattern.
loose.
Robbie learned the pattern when he was 12 years old in about 3 days. Never crashed an airplane because I put my hand over his and
Hmm.
forced him through the maneuver until I felt him getting ahead of me and,
Yeah,
anticipating.
you can feel them. That's right.
And then I let it off and let it off, and he'd know the maneuver. Then I do the next maneuver the same way. And he
Right.
did the whole pattern in less than a week.
I don't know if mine can do that or not. We'll see. We're gonna learn things.
Kids are so fast and they're so adept and they're so quick. Their eye-hand coordination from doing video games is extraordinary.
There was a guy came out last Saturday, 29-year-old, and he built Mark, one of our members, real hangar. He come out and he's 29. He thought, I've seen this on video, and he says, man, it's way cooler when you're seeing it in person, And he said, I think that's cool. I said, you want to fly one? He said, well, yeah. So I got out there on the handle. I showed him what we're going to do, how we're going to take off, how I hold my hand, you hold your hand. And I took one of those tutors and I took it off, and he come in. I had him and scooped the handle away, and I just bumped him a little. I felt him moving it, and he was moving to catch it, and I turned loose and I just bumped him on the battle or on top of the hand to make it adjust, and he figured out how to fly it, and he flew for a long time. And I told him, I said, when you get dizzy, tell me and let me take the handle, and I'll say, I have it. Then you take your handle out and I'll turn you loose. So we did that, and I turned him loose, and he took a half a step and hit the ground, and he tried to get up and fell down again. He says, I have never been this dizzy in my life. And he sit there for probably a minute or a minute and a half, and he says, I think I can go some more. I said, well, get back up here then. So he got back up, and I turned him loose and let him fly it again. Then he landed.
Did you tell him to focus on the side of the airplane rather than the scenery going around?
I do all that, but that don't matter. They're going to get dizzy the first time they've ever. In my experience, I've never seen nobody not get dizzy the first time they did it. But you probably have.
Well, it helps to start out dizzy.
You need to stare at the airplane and nothing else, but they still get dizzy. But
it helps when you're born dizzy.
I just let him land it, and he flared too much, and I tapped his hand down and then tapped it back up, and he landed it, rolled to stop, and he fell over again.
But well, I've always told people to look at the airplane, but they didn't know what I was talking about because I really, I've been doing it so long, like you guys, I don't pay attention to it.
You need to stare at the airplane, but the world goes by. I think if you closed your eyes and didn't do nothing and spun for 2 minutes, you'd still get dizzy, in my opinion.
Mm.
Most people. There might be a rarity out there. But
we don't run into that anymore because we do the pattern, so every few laps we stop and do a maneuver, So
exactly.
I started jumping bean there.
Swordsman 18. Swordsman 18.
It's a wizard.
Oh, it's a wizard. Okay.
Not a wizard. It's not the wizard. It's the
that's the stuntman.
It's the Goldberg, yes.
Stuntman.
That one's one I used. You can tell it's got braces on it.
But it looks just like a swordsman.
That's the one my brother
That's it, swordsman. That's it, Bob.
It's the swordsman,
a wizard there. Yeah,
this
sure.
is the wizard, but
yeah, swordsman. Bob's right. That's what
we would fly. We would fly out in the side field here with it, and you was talking about getting dizzy. One of our friends wanted to fly, so he had my brother's plane, and he got out there and made about, I don't know, 4 laps and was on his back flying it over his head. He probably flew 3 more laps laying on his back and crashed it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he could. Awesome. That was the last. He didn't want that no more.
I think I kept Goldberg in business buying Swordsman 18s and little jumping beans.
Yeah,
the jumping bean was a good flyer.
Actually, my first plane.
A ringmaster.
Nope. Sig.
Sig.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any. I had up.
Well, it sure looks like a ringmaster.
It's a ringmaster biplane.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. But
that's cool.
I crashed it because I didn't have any down. I couldn't if I went up, I didn't have enough down elevator to correct anything, and it didn't like it. So I got the little swordsman here, and I flew it. It had so much glue and extra wood put on it that it wouldn't fly anymore.
Yeah. The best of those little half-A things I thought was the half-A flight streak.
Flight streak that's the best. I agree. Of the things I flew, there might be
Yeah.
something,
They were good little airplanes.
a Pinto or something better today, but back in the day, that top flight was pretty good.
They flew better than the little jumping bean and better than
Yes.
the ringmaster, baby ringmaster.
And the little Satan and the what was the twin combat kitten was the best wing of the bunch.
Yeah,
Twin combat kitten, yeah. Mhm.
Oh,
And
like
the
this.
little demons, they had little demons too.
Yes.
And the Super Satan.
My first, what I learned to
Satan.
fly on, Daddy taught me on a Buster with the McCoy 35.
Wow.
That's what I learned on.
That's combat kitten there.
Combat
That's it. Those were good airplanes.
I got
You could
the-
get
the
two
other
of them at once.
The other
For
one's still in the box.
$3.95.
What's that?
Two of them for $3.95.
Yeah.
Now
Twin.
you pay that much for one of the ribs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've still got the
That's it.
Oh yeah.
see
I got
the
a box.
ticket on here
I mean-
says $9.95
For two of them.
for the and the other one's still in the hadn't been built yet.
Wow.
We built the one, and I found out real quick I was not a combat guy.
Well,
I
trust me,
guarantee you'll get more than $9.95 for that other one.
Oh yeah,
when I was a kid, you get that for $3.95. That box for $3.95.
Yeah.
Dad said we had a little hobby shop up the road, about I don't know 3 miles up the road, and Daddy said if he knew what everything would cost now, he would have bought everything he had when he closed up.
Yeah, well, we all were boats like that with a lot of things from our youth.
Oh yeah,
I had a 63 split window Corvette 327 340 mechanical. And you know what I sold that for? One in the Army? $2,000.
wow.
You know what it's worth today?
60.
Oh,
Yeah,
150.
way beyond 60.
150.
Way beyond 60.
Yeah.
Closer to 200,000.
Holy shit.
Yeah, go on Mecum sometime and look what the good ones are going for. Now, I don't know, mine would have been like a showpiece, but probably still could have got 80, 90,000 for it.
Yeah, but here's the golden rule. In 1864, $20 gold piece, a double eagle, would have bought you a horse, saddle, and a gun. And that same gold piece today will buy you a horse, saddle, and a pistol.
Wow.
Same money. When you made $2.15 an hour, stuff was cheaper.
$1.35.
There you go.
$1.10, my first job. $1.10.
Mine was $1.35.
It was $1.10 an hour when I was at the editor at Flying Model.
You got
I'm a
paid
dollar.
for half your hours, probably. Oh, shoot.
I guess I'm the baby. Were you talking about minimum wage?
Yes.
Yeah.
it was $3.50 for me.
Mine
Oh,
was
shit. That's late
$1.79, I think.
Where was your first job?
Mine,
Glass company.
I was working at a gas station, car wash.
I was at Aunt Jemima's Pancake House, Route 17 in Paramus, New Jersey. New Jersey.
New Jersey. I worked
Yeah,
at
I
a
know.
glass factory and maintenance.
I was a busboy.
It's a full service gas station with a manual automatic car wash.
You were a
Had to-
busboy, Bob?
You had
Well,
to push a button to control it.
What I worked at a bar called The Place. And for $1.35 an hour, I was the bus. It was a restaurant bar. I was the bus boy, the mop, the toilet cleaner, and I used to head shrimp for $1.35 an hour.
But it was money, Robert.
Yeah, at the end of the week, I had $40. I had more money then than I do now.
Well, the answer
Probably
to that
right.
is when I was bussing tables, they let me have any of the pancakes that were left over on the table.
That was your tip, huh?
You'd had to been hungry.
I was.
That's like Robert be going around drinking all the drinks that was left over.
Oh, no.
Finding the cigarette in one.
Like that movie Caddyshack. Or the guy
Caddyshack, yeah.
was drinking all the and he pukes on the Porsche.
Thinking back with those combat cats, a McCoy 35 was $4.95 at that time.
Right.
Is that right?
Matter of fact,
That's what Daddy bought me was McCoys. He had Foxes, but he bought me McCoys.
a green
Yeah,
box stoplight Nobler kit was $5.95.
Yeah. And those McCoy at $4.95 would run a whole 4 flights before they wore out.
Yeah, especially when you use Cox glow fuel like I did.
That was a bad idea. Daddy knew about that. He made his own fuel back in the day when I was a little boy. He'd make fuel like, I want to say 15 gallons at a time. When you got done making fuel, he would take Marvel Mystery and walk through every gallon and pour a cap full of Marvel Mystery and said, shake it up. Marvel Mystery on every gallon, 1 cap full, then shake it up. I think he was fighting castor buildup in 1964, 65. He knew about that stuff even then, I think.
Well, I had a McCoy 35 that I ran Cox glow fuel, missile mist, K&B, whatever fuel I could get. I didn't know any better.
That's right.
That's right.
I got a great story. You remember Chester's 39 glow fuel?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was blue, right?
Right.
Well, Gene Martin and Pat Frangella and Frank McMillan and Rich Jacobone were all buddies when they were kids. And they all flew over at Pelham Bay Park in New York. And Gene was famous, and he'll even admit this, he was famous for trying to glom fuel off people because he never could afford fuel. So everybody was using Tester 39. So when Frank and Rich left the field one day, he was putting the bite on them for some fuel. They said, we'll fix him. So they took Windex and they put it in the bottle.
Oh, no.
And then they hid in the weeds just outside the circles and watched him for an hour trying to start the engine. He admits it, you know.
Talking about the McCoys.
Yeah.
Dads.
That's an early lightning bolt case.
So 1957 model. He built the plane in 62.
Cosmic Wind?
Cosmic Wind, yeah. And still got the I don't know if you can see it, still got the wooden horn on it. Only been hit one time. He had a hard landing and sent the wheels through the bottom of the wing. But that's one of the best flying planes we got right here. This thing's a nice flying plane. He did a good job on it. I still fly it. And the motor, you go out there, it's a little stiff right now, but once it's broke in, you flip it one time, it starts.
I flew a lot of McCoys. They just like Castor. Don't let up on the Castor.
Oh no, yeah, I fly. Was it
25 minimum?
5% with 25% caster?
Yep.
It's nasty, but hey, that's part of it.
John Miller, you lost weight.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I
Oh
thought
my
I
goodness. He went and got a haircut.
Gonna have to beat the chicks off with a stick, huh?
Yeah.
It's tough life, but somebody's got to do it.
I guess.
Hey, Steve, no sanding tomorrow.
Oh, I am so disappointed.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Got my primer though.
Have to be Wednesday. You got it, huh?
Yeah, I got the primer.
You may get snowed on overnight, Robert.
I hope not.
It's gonna be down to 1 or -1.
That's cold.
We got 5.5 inches yesterday.
We got
Make a
Snow
snowman.
County. What is that? You got your mic muted. There you go.
Mosquito.
Hey there.
Might have to make one of those, Sparky, and make an electric twin mosquito.
Oh, there you go.
Love to see that.
Be good.
So who we got there in Solo County, APCD or whatever?
My name's Andy.
Hi, Andy.
Hey,
Hi, Andy.
Andy.
Oh, Andy.
nice to see you all tonight.
You've
Good
never
to
been
meet
in, you've never been in before, have you?
Just one other time, and then I was on the other night with you on the Friday night.
Well, it's been a while for Friday night because we ain't had one in a month.
Where you
Well, the
from?
one-on-one.
Where you from?
Oh, it's San Luis Obispo area in Central Coast of California.
He's away from the fires, a long ways away from them.
Yeah, we're away.
But not the earthquakes.
Yeah, earthquakes, that's another thing.
That's another thing. We
Yeah.
get those.
Earthquakes ain't bad. I didn't mind them.
You got the wine country there, don't you?
Yeah, we have the wine country for sure.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great trip to make. It's going from one winery to the other on the tasting tours.
Hmm.
Only,
Yeah.
only time we have earthquakes here is when I fall down.
I like the
Fell down the
mosquito
other
and
day.
the
Fell
hurricane.
down the other
behind
day and rocked myself to sleep trying to get up.
Does that happen often?
Not very often, no, but it's getting more frequent.
I fell on my airplanes back there.
Oh wow!
Oh,
Destroyed about 3 of them.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Not the Torino, I hope.
Yep.
oh.
It's
Sorry to hear that, John.
repairable. It's just going to take a little while.
Ooh.
Everything's
I did a dumb-
fixable.
I did a dumb thing. I got the door shut so the cat and dog don't come in here and bug me. And I reached over to turn the light off over here and forgot that the door was closed. I was in dead darkness. I couldn't find the light. I thought I had the right wall where the door was, and I was 90 degrees from that. So I fell right on the pile of airplanes.
Wow.
uh,
I'm telling you this because as smart as you may think I am or am not, I can tell you I am not.
It happens.
Oh yes.
Forrest Gump said it best.
Good old Forrest Gump.
So the
Run,
behind you, the
Forrest,
picture, the
run.
mosquito and the hurricane.
Yeah.
How did you get that picture? That's got to be a story.
Well, I was watching a video, honestly.
Okay.
And I was able to take some screen captures from it, and I just thought it was just such beautiful pictures. I was like, I have to get that,
Yeah.
and just screen captured it and made it a background. Works pretty good.
Spitfire, hurricane, and a mosquito.
Yeah.
I can't see on the right, but that's three of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So hey, I've got a question for you all. I've been working with Ron Byrne was my mentor, and I had I posted up a memory for him a while back, and I think you guys have read some of that. And one of the I got a question that came in wanting to get a copy of his Spitfire, his half-A Spitfire plans that I have. So I don't think he ever published those. He did that for an academy that he put together for teaching kids how to build.
Wow.
So I felt fine making a copy of that and getting it out. There's another plan set that he has too that I don't think he published, and that was his version of kind of the Fanterized Twister. He called it the twisted twist or burned twister is one thing he called it.
The blister.
Blister. That's good.
A blister.
uh-huh.
Yeah. So So anyway, I was thinking of posting these plans up on with his memorial page. But there was another plan set that he did, which was a Mustang, a 15 size Mustang that RSM did and kitted. So my question is there a copyright issue potentially of me getting that scanned and posting it?
Probably. I mean, everybody's doing it. Okay. Just everybody's ripping everybody off wholesale. Nobody has any respect for intellectual property anymore whatsoever. So what I would do is that they have a family you could go to and get, just ask them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can
I'm
ask
sure
Jamie
they'd
as
be
well.
That's
happy
what I
because
do.
that would be a testimony to him and everything.
Okay.
But just, I mean, as one who's had bazillions of airplane plans ripped off and know a lot of people who have had a lot ripped off, people are making money on our intellectual property without offering us anything or even asking for our permission.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
there's nobody going to prosecute them, but it's just not right. So
Yeah.
do the due diligence. You're friends with the family, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Okay.
all you got to do is get them to say, yeah, great, do it.
And that's okay. I mean, if
Get it written.
does RSM for the Mustang kit or plans, does RSM have more rights than that? I mean, can
Maybe.
they say,
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
okay,
When I was at Flying Models magazine, when we published an airplane, which is similar to kitting, I guess, um, and someone wanted to kit that air, like the author wanted to have it kitted,
mhm,
they would come to us and we would re-release the rights to them for kitting purposes only,
mm,
and we do it in every case because hey, it forwards the hobby, but it's just the right thing to do, is to get
yeah,
lottery I and cross every T. Now, having said that, nobody else does it, so I don't think anybody's going to look down on you for it. But
Have you looked on Outer Zone? They might already be there.
I think I have. I don't think I've seen him there. I'll double check that. That's a good question.
That's how prevalent this BS of ripping people off is. They just take it from you and post it on Outer Zone, and that's it.
the
There ain't
number
nothing you
one.
can do.
That's the number one, uh, entity that's ripping people off and just wholesale giving stuff away or whatever. It's not right. I don't want any money for any of my things. I just want the courtesy, and I think that would
Yeah.
be what you're looking to do there.
Yeah,
It'd be
right.
interesting to know when you talk to them if RSM has exclusive rights or not. They might not even know.
Well,
That's right.
Isn't RSM just about dead, belly up?
Yeah, but you can't presuppose that. You have to figure
They
it out.
prove it, I think. But
Yeah, I
if you
understand.
talk to the family and in good faith, you're not trying to make a living off of it anyhow.
Right.
No.
Right.
You're going to post it for free, probably. So,
Mhm.
And you don't want a DMCA on you.
It just gives you the warm and fuzzy feeling inside that you did it right, and you're doing it
Yeah.
for a good cause. I mean, Ron, I think everybody here would agree, one of the best craftsmen that ever lived on this planet. I mean, his Wildcat, the FM2, I think it was just amazing.
Yeah.
What is the status of that airplane and the Mach-E and some of the others?
Well, the Mach-E was crashed, and I don't honestly know if I ever saw the Wildcat. I don't know.
Incredible airplane.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it from pictures that I posted in his tribute, but I'm not sure that it survived either.
That's a shame.
But we did do some of the planes that we had. One of his other RC friends went and put them up at the Santa Maria airport, or donated them to post them, put them up somewhere. I'm not sure if that ever happened or not.
He had a 0 too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can look on that. And I do have pictures from his workshop in that tribute. I can't honestly remember what was still like intact and what was not intact.
I remember seeing that. You did a really good job with that, Andy, and that was most appreciated to see everything, especially the things he was doing with kids and programs and stuff.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. I was fortunate to have an opportunity to work with him on some of those academies. It was a lot of fun.
What I'm on Outer Zone now. What was the who
Ron Byrne.
Ron Byrne. I don't.
All right, who had 842 in the? Oh, he woke up. I was going to say who had the 842 as the thing for Gary falling asleep. You know.
Oh,
Hi,
no,
Gary.
hey, I got a guy, Joe Manuel Alameda or something, wants to know, Bob, if you got plans for the Genesis
For which one?
Extreme.
That's a
The-
silly question.
Well, the plans for the two first Genesis, the 35 first, and then Mark III, are owned by Thayer Syme, who bought out Flying Models Plan Service. So they're still available. You can get it by going to Flying Models Plan Service online, and they're very reasonable, and he ships right away. So you can get those from him. The Genesis Extreme, I have plans for, and there's one called the 40, which very few people know about that I have plans for. And I'm also going to probably try to draw plans up for the new one, the last one, the Genesis LC, which means last chapter, one I flew at the Nats with the twin rudders. And that'll be the end of them. So there's a bunch of them.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Howard's phone made it in today.
Yeah.
Howard, hey, dude.
Hi.
So I guess the iPhone and the iPad talk to each other, right?
Sometimes.
Got
What's big-
iPad in the left-hand corner, and in the right-hand corner, lower right-hand corner, we got the iPhone.
Well, it works about as often as those Boeing airplanes do.
Yeah.
No, be nice.
That was low.
I know, for Howard. He understands.
Yeah.
If it ain't a Boeing, I don't want to go.
That's what I say.
That's a hell of a name for an airplane company. It sounds like parts falling off of it.
Boing.
Bouncing, I
Boing.
just see bouncing down the runway. Boing, boing, boing.
They're not building airplanes yet again, are they? They shipped anything out yet? Howard, do you have any idea?
I don't know.
I don't think they've. I think they're still getting things figured out.
I've been gone for a while.
Yes, you have, but you live close.
Uh,
You're 60 miles away.
no, yeah.
I think I've read somewhere that they're working on some sixth generation fighter proposals and
I think
stuff
they're
like
still.
that too.
They're
along
probably
with
building,
everything.
but they haven't shipped anything in a while.
Yeah.
They're going to have a propulsion system. I just saw it on YouTube that's anti-gravity, and it's weird. It goes by magnetism. And you think, well, that won't work. Well, they super cool this magnet down to, sub-zero or whatever, and they float. That's really strange.
Marky, do you actually believe everything you see on YouTube?
No, not everything I see on YouTube, but I believe that.
Okay.
Takes a lot of energy to super cool things.
Right.
Listen, when I was going to school for CAD, we had a teacher got sick and we had a substitute teacher came in and he was there about 6 weeks and he showed me he was working on a design for a anti-grav flying saucer.
Yeah.
He's kind of a woo guy, but looking at his plans, they were pretty darn impressive. And then all of a sudden he disappeared and never saw or heard anything more from him. I don't know where he wound up.
Well, I guess it worked.
It must have. I
He
think he
went to
might
the
have wound
moon.
up at Area 51 because if it worked,
He's good.
yeah.
Weird things happen with magnets. If you drop a magnet through a copper pipe, it doesn't fall at the speed of gravity. It just falls real slow. Magnets are weird.
Yep.
Magnets are what make the world go around,
That's exactly right. But, let's say that they do have this super cool conductor magnetic type thingy that works in Earth's atmosphere because of our magnetic field. That don't mean it's gonna work in outer space because there ain't no magnetic field.
It's all true.
Oh, I'd say there is, but they might be diminished depending on how far you are from whatever, because every body in space has some form of gravity. They haven't found any yet that don't. And it depends on the mass of the object. And so if we're going by a giant red star, there'd be plenty of, even if you were light years away from that, there would still be gravity out there.
Maybe we could go test it out. Take a trip to the sun. We could go at night when it's cool.
There you go. That's
There
a
you
good
go.
idea there,
That's
Starker.
it.
I just want to know how can we compact it and put it in a stunt ship, so.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is if you found a little bitty piece of one of them stars like that, it was probably maybe about that big, it'd weigh so much you'd have to have a semi to haul it around.
Size of a
Anybody,
dime.
Well, I know guys that have a lot of stunt ships now that have that problem.
did you guys watch the Stuka thing that I think it was Tim just put a little video of how a stunt pattern should look and the tracings? Did you see that?
Yep, I saw it.
I figured it out. We got to get back to having a 6-inch wide wing, 4-inch tip, long wingspan, and hinge it behind the cockpit and just bend the fuselage to make it turn. That way it could turn tighter.
You ever see the movie Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid?
Yes.
You keep thinking, Butch, that's what you're good at.
That's what you're good at. But that's what that airplane looked like. It looked like it bent in the middle as it turned the corner on that video. Did you see it?
Yeah.
It bent in the middle when it turned the corner. So I thought, we're missing something. That's what we're doing wrong.
Didn't Scarinzi have a plane called the Jolly Flapper?
Yes, he did. I got a picture of it if you want to see it.
Yeah, throw that up there. You see, he was way ahead of his time there on this.
All I needed was
And it actually flew very well too, actually. The problem is with Larry, he never went on to develop anything he came up with. He just went on to the next thing. So
that's Larry, though.
That's Larry.
Yeah.
He was a good dude. I liked him.
Well, he financed how many trips to VSC with a tin can in front of his Cadillac?
All of them.
Give me just a minute here.
I thought it was an interesting video, how the airplane looked when it turned. It bent in the middle as it turned the corner.
Oh. Well, I don't know if it actually turned quicker, but it sure would look like it did.
Well, you watch that video, you'll see the airplane look like it bends in the middle.
Look at that flap in there, how big that sucker is.
Oh my gosh.
It's half the weight.
I wouldn't think you'd have to move it very much.
Now, he had two of them. This was the bigger one. This was called the Super Flapper, and the other smaller one was an 09 powered called the Jolly Flapper, or half A powered called the Jolly Flapper.
Did you ever fly that?
No, I never did.
Never flew it.
But I've handled it a lot, so.
Oh, how did it fly, Bob?
Yeah, everything he built flew good.
I would think that when that flap deployed, look at the size of the elevator. It's so dang small.
Well, you probably got
he didn't
maximum
optimize
flap
anything.
right there.
He just kind of like built them and then went on to the next thing. Had he, I think, stopped and optimized that, larger elevators or messed with the ratios of elevator flap movement, which he had a lot less flap movement than we use these days.
Sure he does.
Versus elevator movement. The airplane did turn, but gotta remember, his airplanes were like zero weight,
I was gonna
It
say,
didn't
what is
need
that,
flaps
about
to begin
28
with.
ounces?
Huh?
What was it, about 28 ounces?
I would think it would be a whole lot less than that with knowing Larry. Probably like 22 ounces.
Wow.
Was he getting into your balsa supply?
Well, he had his own pretty good balsa supply.
Oh, okay.
That's back when you could get wood.
Yeah.
Real stuff, yeah.
He had boxes and boxes and boxes of 4-pound stock wood. So I don't know what happened to it either. So,
Andy, that's a negative on that 049 Mustang. I couldn't find it.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Just talk to his wife or whoever's the head of the estate.
Well, his wife passed away before he did, about a year before he did. The head of the state is his son Patrick, and Patrick ain't letting anything go. He's holding on to everything.
Hmm.
So that's fine. That's his prerogative. You know. I tried to get him to allow me to nominate one of Larry's airplanes for the AMA museum. You know, the Model Aviation Museum, and he didn't seem interested at all. So I left him. I said, look, if you ever decide you want one in there, I think one of his airplanes should be there. The Blue Angel, the Trident, or a Super Satan or something should be in there. But you know, you just can't donate an airplane to the AMA museum and have it accepted. You have to go through a nomination process, and it has to
That's
be
correct.
voted, you know.
They gotta want it.
Yeah. And you would think that with his
They would
reputation
take
and the amount of
his.
airplanes that he produced, and you know, he was larger than life character, that they would want one of his airplanes.
They would take one of his. The right people are on there, Bob, to make that happen.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I could help that a little.
But I could have a lot of buddies at AMA, and I could write I wrote a couple of nomination letters that have been accepted for airplanes. But Buddy Weeder's electric retract twin, we got in there. You know.
That was he flying that profile Pathfinder twin?
Who?
Buddy Weeder, right?
No.
Okay, I remember seeing somebody flying a Pathfinder, the Pathfinder twin. He had
Oh, that was Rick Huff.
Oh, okay.
Red, white, and blue one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Rick Huff.
Flew pretty well for him.
Buddy had a Bob designed airplane.
What's that?
It was a Bob design.
Yes.
You
You talking about Rick or Buddy?
Yours. Buddy's had
Buddy.
your airplane.
Well, he did have. Well, we designed a set of numbers, but his airplane was a little different than mine. I got a picture of it here. Hold on a second. Let me. We built, you know, basically the same airplane. Let me just a second.
I always wanted to see you finish up that little half-acre canard you had.
I did finish it. Boy, did I finish it.
Huh?
Boy, did I finish it.
You crashed it?
Yeah.
That looks so good. You said it flew pretty good too.
The original one did, yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to find, there it is. Hold on a second. There we go.
Oh, that's a pretty airplane.
That hangs in the AME Museum now. And the rationale, you know, because it never won anything, but the rationale was at that NATS, there was 2 electric powered twins with retracts. That was the first at a nationals ever.
Uh-huh.
And that was the rationale for getting his airplane in there.
That's gorgeous. I like the lines.
It was a good airplane. 735 square inches.
How many?
735.
You got your arm in front of the rudder, so I couldn't see what the rudder looked like.
Let me see if I have another picture over here someplace.
It's got a nice curve there on the top.
Yeah,
He used the spinner for the nose on the center nose.
I might have another picture of me and break it.
Getting white here, isn't it?
What's that?
Nothing.
What'd you say, Joe?
Colleen just came home and the ground's white.
Oh, hi, Colleen.
Hi, Colleen.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, here's a picture of it in halfway through painting. I have another picture of it someplace though.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
there it is.
It's like
Yeah.
the big one I sent back to you, isn't it? Pretty close.
What's that?
That's nice.
It's like the big one I delivered back to you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the exact same airplane, just the you know, it's the same mannequin of numbers. It's the mannequin. Mine has different clothes on it.
Right.
Same wing, same everything. That's a fully sheeted, built-up wing.
That's a pretty airplane.
Yeah, that's a nice airplane. He was in the top 20 with it. He had the settings set too low for the spike cutoff, and the wind, one of the motors shut off because he had the voltage set wrong. And but it did fly good. I've flown it quite a few times. Here's an interesting photo.
Did it?
I would bet a pretty significant body part, that there was never three of these on a field at one time in this year before. And here it is. There are three electric retractable landing gear twin electric airplane.
Well, one of them's a Pathfinder.
That's Rick Hupp and his
That's
Pathfinder.
Rick's.
Mm-hmm. My second wind and Ryan's Eagle twin.
That's nice.
Yeah, I was at Palisades Park, New Jersey.
Joycey.
You know, that second wind, looking at it from that view, Bob, I see the lineage from some RC pattern in that wing.
Oh, there's lots of lineage in all my recent airplanes, the Crossfire, and a number of my airplanes from radio control pattern, because I flew RC pattern. I really like those airplanes.
Yeah, I know you flew it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice airplanes.
Yeah. I have another picture. I'll see if I can find it while you guys are talking. Of Buddy working on that airplane in my shop. Where is it? Making the wing. I don't know if I could find this real quick or not, though. So go ahead and chat, and I'll see if I can find it.
Well, I had some pretty airplanes, but now they're all twisted and bent.
You built them once, you can build it again.
Yes, that's true.
It's just balsa wood.
Mm-hmm.
I know, but I don't have any more balsa that was that good, Hey, Bob?
Yeah.
You want to adopt me? I could use some legacy.
Well, we do have a spare room, so
Yeah, there you go. I could use your shop. How much of that bronze paint you got left?
40 gallon.
I'm going to bring my own blue paint.
Now, here's a little known fact. None of my airplanes were ever bronze. It was always copper or dark metallic brown. There was never any bronze.
They sure look bronze.
Well, looks can be deceiving.
That's right.
That's true. That's true.
They look metallic brown to me.
Yeah, a lot of them are metallic brown. And of course, everybody knows the story, right? I mean, I'm sure there's people here who don't know the story. And
go ahead and tell it.
Everybody that knows it, just, bear with me. And I started painting those airplanes with the copper when my father was an automation engineer. Back in '72, he had a quota job for U.S. Bronze Powders, who made a lot of different color powders for artistic things, art projects and things or whatever. And they gave him boxes of vials of this stuff, all different colors and different size vials. And he had to figure out how they're going to put it into a feeder and get it in and package it and all that stuff. And he gave me a vial of the copper, and he said, I think if you mix this with dope, it would make a good trim color. And I was sort of ambivalent about it, but I tried it, and he loved it. So I just kept doing it because he loved it. So anyway, get 3 or 4 of these down the road, and Billy Weirwich, who loves bright colors, he started razzing me about it. He says, what do you got, a 55-gallon barrel of that crap? I don't want to see any more of these. I hate this, yada, yada, yada. So I just kept doing it to annoy him more than anything. Mm-hmm. And I even have one that was two-tone. It was a dark metallic brown and copper. That was that Lark I did, Mackie Lark. So this went on for a lot of years, about 15, 16 airplanes worth. So figure that out in years. And then we got our first, in 1993, I got our first golden retriever. And I called him up and I said, guess what, Billy? I even have a bronze dog. He goes, Bob, you've had a lot of bronze dogs. Click.
Oh my goodness, that's terrible.
That's an absolutely true story. And what do? You're hit with the phone, you're going,
Dang it. That's funny. You got a lot of bronze dogs.
Oh, he was
Oh my
hilarious.
goodness.
So that's a good story, Bob.
So,
I gotta run. It's supper time out here in California. So
That's no excuse.
That's no excuse. Yeah.
call out and have it delivered.
The wife says it's dinner time. So
Oh, she
there you
didn't
go.
deliver.
Don't
Gotta
argue.
go.
Oh,
See ya.
Bye.
yeah.
Take care.
Thanks for the input.
Bob, it's funny. You was talking about talking on the phone and you was holding it like this. The kids today don't even know what that.
That's
how
right. They
to
don't know
hold
what
a phone
that.
like that is.
I have no clue what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's hello. They don't even talk on the phone. They just text. I don't even know what a phone is.
That's funny.
Try to tell them that the phones we used to have were attached to the wall,
Yeah.
and when you give a
Yeah.
rotary phone, they won't know how to dial out.
Well, I like the ones where you had the little handle on the side. You'd ring it like this. You'd hold the mouthpiece here and put the earpiece right up here. You know. Nobody
You're a little older
knows.
than I am. We didn't have. Oh, we did have a party line.
Party line was very comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
party
Orchard
lines were fun.
4161.
Bring, bring. That's us.
It'd ring and you could hear every phone in the area pick up.
I still remember my phone number as a kid, Edgewood 76491.
Grandma's and Grandpa's Orchard 4161.
Was that in California?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had an Edgewood number.
Well, I don't remember my number, but I remember Billy Simon's number, P085806. When he gave it to me that day at the field, when he first asked me if I wanted to fly stunt, he gave it to me in a pack of matches. And I took it home and I wrote it down in about 50 places so I'd never lose it.
So what was your phone number, John?
I can't remember. It's Edgewood 5 something.
So the fives would be, were you closer to El Monte that way, weren't you?
I was in Highland Park at that time.
Where? Buena Park?
Highland Park
Island Park.
by the Rose Bowl.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Pasadena area.
Yeah, just the other side of the Arroyo Seco from Pasadena.
Hello, Steve.
Are
Got
you
two
cold?
Steve.
Hey, Steve, the real
Yeah,
Steve
two
is here.
Steve.
Steve.
Are you cold there, Junior?
No. I guess I was earlier. Now my hair's not done. I don't want you guys to see me without my hair done.
Ah,
I got curly.
What you got to do is you got to grow out of your hair, you know.
Yeah,
yeah.
I get taller than my hair every day.
Yeah.
The
Mine's
Blues,
starting to migrate.
Blues were on in a shootout. If anybody wants to know.
Oh boy.
Right.
Hockey.
They're hanging in there, huh?
Sparky's got a blue note on his lower back tattoo, so don't let him fool you.
Yeah.
He'll never
Wow.
show you, but I heard he does.
Yeah. Good luck.
Hmm.
Don't know.
Oh.
Bob, this will be of interest to you.
Hmm.
I learned how to play House of the Rising Sun on my harmonica with a guitar backup.
Did you go see that movie, A Complete Unknown yet?
No, I haven't.
That's the story of the first 4 years that Dylan came to New York, from 61 to 65.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that, a lot of harmonica playing in it and guitar.
Oh yeah.
Really great.
I'll have to keep my eye open for. We got one little theater here. It's got 2 screens, and they're only opened on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights, And you either got to get the newspaper or you got to drive by to see what's playing there.
I've seen it 5 times.
Really? And the name of it once again?
A Complete Unknown.
Complete Unknown. He had a unique style on the harp.
Yeah, it was good. And the beauty of this movie is that Timothy Chalamet, who plays him, took 5 years to study for this part. He didn't know how to play guitar or sing, and you'd swear he's Dylan singing, and he plays all his own guitar, and he's phenomenal. And so is Monica Barbaro, who plays Joan Baez. So if you get a chance to see it, it's amazing.
Wow. I didn't see that. one of the things I studied to learn how to play House of the Rising Sun was the duet between him and Joan Baez doing that
She sings
song.
that in the movie.
Does she?
Mhm.
Oh,
That's what made me think of it. So you ought to go see it.
yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, guys. We took it off airplanes, but it just,
That's all right.
our motors make sweet music,
Well, I sure regret that they took down the drive-in at Brodex.
Oh, yeah.
Drive-ins. How many people today know what a drive-in is?
Not many.
Hmm.
Well, they just up here in Franklin, Kentucky is about, I don't know, right across the state line. They just tore it down, but here in Robertson County and where I live, they're building a new one.
A new one?
Yeah,
Well, that's a loser.
brand new one. There's a lot of people around here went to the one in Franklin. I mean, it was packed all the time,
Yeah.
except when Twister came out. Nobody went to that one.
Hey, guys. I've
Yeah.
got a
Yeah.
question about the Tampa website. If somebody might be able to weigh in on that.
What do you
Um,
mean?
Man right over there with the blue hat.
That guy right there.
Yeah, that guy. Right there.
That guy there.
Yeah, depends on where you're at on the screen.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, yeah.
That way. Mike Dennis.
Yeah.
He's got guitars sitting in the background like you.
What's the question?
What I'm actually looking for is expanded article that Paul Walker did about trimming.
Uh-huh.
And I think I found a reference to it on their website, but I can't for the life of me figure out how to open anything on there.
It's on Flying Lines website.
Flight lines. Yeah.
Flying Lines.
Yeah, that's right. Flying line.
I thought I saw a copy of it over on Stunt Hangar.
I
Where
think
did
there
my-
is a copy of it on Stunt Hangar.
is.
It was in Stunt News too. As a matter of fact, in the reading room, I actually ran across it the other day in a copy of Stunt News. I'm not sure you want me to send you that copy, but I could I could scan it.
Yeah, I thought I had
things
seen
on,
it front
on
news,
Flying
too.
Lines. I think Paul Taylor has a link to it on Stunt Hangar.
Okay.
I bet so.
Hey, Mike, I just sent you a link to, if you want to read all the
There
Paul
you go.
columns on Flying Lines, and
Well done.
trim flow chart is down to the bottom of that list.
Yeah.
So that's one way you can get it.
That's
Yeah.
excellent. That thing. It's really good.
Everybody
Yeah.
should have that in their
Like box
in their model crafting room.
or your flight box anyway. So when you're at the field.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just reread the article about the evolution of the impact from the very beginning to the end. That's a good article.
Mhm.
Really enjoyed that.
Good airplane.
What I want to know is, when are they going to publish Sparky's sanding flow chart?
That would take a lot more than an article. That would take a book.
Might be a movie.
Yeah.
3D glasses.
Well, Steve's getting first-hand education.
We could call
Yeah, I
it
am.
we could call it a complete unflown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know there were so many ways to stand.
Makes a difference.
It does.
Well, the fastest way to sand is with an angry cat.
I think that's the fastest way to need sanding.
Well, the trick to sandpaper that everybody, Bob will know this, that everybody's afraid of is if you're shaping something, you want to shape it with the heaviest grit you have. So if you got 36 or 24, you shape it with that, and then you drop down a grit, and all you're doing after you get it shaped is removing the scratches that you put into the prior sanding job, and then keep candling it. Draw a straight line down the you got to have good eyes, but draw a straight line down the center and make sure that it's equal on both sides. and no flats. Don't sand with the grain. That'll make flats.
Yep, I learned that the hard way.
And if you're not a proficient sander, I suggest you don't sand without a block.
Yeah.
I carve everything as close to perfect shape as possible with a number 26 Whittler blade, and then I sand. But I like to carve. One guy once told me, was watching me carve something. He says, "I've never seen anybody rub something out with a knife before."
Well, I got this a big disc sander, a 12-inch disc sander now, and if I'm doing
geez.
a nose block, I'll trace the line and I'll take it over and I'll go like that, and the dust will fly. And you just it's a whole lot easier than whittling. That's all.
I used Gordon's 12-inch disc sander.
Here's
And I
some of
went
my sanding
like that,
blocks.
and I was about a quarter of an inch too far. I mean, in just an instant, it took off so much material.
I just use PVC pipe.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I mentioned before that I have a picture of Buddy working on that twin wing. This is that picture.
I know that place.
That's Buddy working on that wing for that airplane you saw.
It's like a Mustang wing, got a little
Yeah,
doghouse
it's
in
got
it.
a cuffed wing, and it's got
Little doghouse.
triple taper. The trailing edge sweeps forward, the leading edge
Mhm.
sweeps back twice. It has the cuff and then it sweeps
That's
back.
a nice wing right there.
Yeah, they come out good. And they both did. They're very light.
That right there weighs about 4.5 to 5 ounces, as shown.
Yeah, at the most.
Depends
it's
on what
almost
wood you have. Get you
it's
some
almost
pine
an
wood, it'll be
I-beamer.
good.
Yeah,
Get all the sheeting on it's probably around 7 or 8 ounces.
yeah. Hey, well, that size wing maybe a tiny bit more because it's really big. But yeah, not too much more.
Mary, a fellow from Milwaukee, Marinetti, he built all of his stunners with sheeted wings. And back in 80, I think 82 or 83, I somehow wound up, I didn't know it was one of his airplanes, but it was a stiletto. And
Wow.
it had the sheeted wing, and it was so light, my goodness.
Is there an advantage to the sheeted wing?
Yeah,
Easier to
think so.
finish.
easier to
Yeah,
finish.
besides the finish.
I
easier
think
finish.
aerodynamics are better.
They don't.
They
They
don't
don't-
puff like that in the wind.
Now, with a
They
sheeted
stay
wing,
true.
can you use less ribs on a sheeted wing?
No, you got to use more ribs. You can't. I was talking to Dennis out of Meeson about this before I ever started doing fully sheeted built-up wings, and he said in order to prevent that starved horse look that you can get, you got to. He said no more than 1.6 inches spacing center to center. He said 1.5 inches even better. So that's what I did, 1.5 inches on those wings. I got some other pictures of that. Maybe some-
You can use lighter wood in the wing when you're sheeting it like that.
Yeah. Well, the one thing you want to do too is I found, well, what I did, I decided to use, molded shells on the front, and they come up only halfway onto the C-tube spar. So that when you put the plate, you make one plate that goes from the back of the leading edge shell all the way off the back of the wing.
Right.
That the joint is over the 1/4 inch spar and has a
Right.
platen on which you can sand without making dips in the wing. You're not going to press down on the wing. And that worked pretty good. So I also use a 1/4 grain for the rear part because it's very shallow curve. And I joined them and then they were like a 4-pound stock and sanded them. And then I vacuumed the bottom and I put a coat of Z-epoxy on, spread it around and heated it and wiped every last bit of it off and then block sanded it. And you had like a sheet of steel that weighed nothing. And the 1/4 grain won't dip between the ribs, especially at 1.5 inch spacing. So they stay very, very, very flat. Sparky saw that big twin I had. It was very flat, wasn't it, Spark?
Oh yeah.
What
And-
size sheeting do you use?
16th.
16th? Okay.
Yeah. I have some pictures of that. I mean,
I
if
figured
you
it'd
want to
be-
see them, if you don't want to see them, I
figured
won't
it'd
show
be
them.
No, we want to see.
The grain of the wood's the whole secret there, Eddie.
Okay.
Yeah, that quarter grain. Now, another thing about these built-up wings, whether it be a fully sheeted wing or a ribbed wing that you're going to cover with silk fat, everybody knows that you can't mold quarter grain around the leading edge. It just won't mold. It'll break. It'll crack. But what you can do is use the centerpiece for the leading edge sheeting or leading edge shell out of A grain to bend around the tightest part of the leading edge, and then use quarter grain from there back to the spar. Because that shallow bend, the quarter grain will, it'll take that. It won't crack. But that going around the leading edge, it will. So if you make up your piece like a trapezoid, the centerpiece is A grain 16th, and the two outer pieces are quarter grain balsa wood. And man, does that make a rigid wing. That's what my Genesis Extreme has, and it's like a girder.
Has anybody
Bob?
had any luck buying sea grain wood anymore?
Well, I was very fortunate because when I was in business doing foam wings, I'd order 700-800 sheets at a time. And that's back when I could really get good wood. And when it came in, I graded it and weighed every piece. And every time I saw a piece of quarter grain, it went over here into this pile for Bob Hunt. And all the other stuff went to the other pile. So I have a whole stack of quarter grain, a couple hundred sheets, a few hundred sheets of it.
I think I've got one sheet in the last couple of
And you know what I say about that? Nah, 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 nah.
Hey, Bob, I remembered the guy's name is Mario Rondinelli.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the
He's the
Venus.
one that did the Venus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the little known fact is in 64, when he took second at the Nationals behind Phil Havey and in front of Scorenzi, the night before he ripped the outboard wing off. He had a garbage pail, a 55-gallon barrel that was sitting out in the field, and he hit it, knocked the outboard wing off the airplane, repaired it overnight, and took second the next day.
Was it with the Venus? Wasn't that the Venus?
The Blue Venus, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We sure built nice airplanes.
Man.
That one I wound up with was
beautiful.
I eventually crashed it, but I wish I hadn't. I wish I'd have just kept it.
Pete Peterson built one. It was gorgeous.
Pete Peterson is a master builder.
Guess who has it?
And Frank McMillan had one too.
Joe's got Pete's right
I have
now.
Pete's. I took it to King Orange and Orestes and Mike beat me, but I took it to Brodax and won Classic with it.
Yeah, Joe and his Venus has 58,000 views.
Wow.
That's a decent, it's better than decent. That's a good airplane. It's a good airplane.
I've seen Pete do that. He'll build a nice airplane. He'll go somewhere, and we went to a contest. We went down to VSC. Pete had built a Thunderbird 2, and he got down there, and this fellow from Switzerland, he was an airline pilot, and
yes,
he showed up there, and he had a squaw or something.
Yes,
he liked
right.
Palmer airplanes, and Pete said, "You think I should, John?" I said, "Do what?" He said, "I'm going to give him that T-Bird." He gave him that T-Bird. This was the first time he'd flown his T-Bird, at a contest. At the end of the contest, he turned around and handed it to him. And it still exists in Switzerland. It's been.
I'll think of his name.
Rebuilt.
Rene. I'll think of his name. He and his wife are nice couple.
Who's that?
Renee Berger. Renee Berger.
Renee Berger.
And Monique.
And Monique.
Oh yeah.
He was a good guy.
How could you forget Monique? Come on.
Oh my goodness.
Gee whiz, guys. We're old. We're not dead.
Joe, well, speak for yourself, Bob.
Monique and Renee Berger.
Yeah, they're great people.
Monique had a really good friend, though. She came over on the arm of another German stunt flyer to VSC. And he didn't, she was wanting to get him to propose, and he didn't have nothing to do with her. She was a gorgeous gal, too. They must grow them beautiful over there in Switzerland.
That was,
I forget the German guy's name. I'll think of that in a minute too.
Okay. You guys want to see these pictures? If you don't want to see them, I'm not going to
show them.
Show 'em,
Yeah,
Bob.
show 'em.
It's better than looking at all them mugs.
Okay, let me see if I can find the first one here.
Hey, I just cleaned mine up.
Yeah.
Trying to find the right one in sequence. Oh, we'll just do one here. Okay. Is that showing?
Yeah.
Yes,
That's not
Yep.
what I want to show though. Hold
it
on.
was. It doesn't anymore.
Yeah, I want to. I gotta find which one I want to show here. Let's try this one here.
While you're doing that, oh, go ahead.
There you go.
Okay, what are those scallops in the middle? Is that just lightning or is that?
Lightning. Yeah, it's like no. That's a 1/8" basswood tension and compression joiners,
Yeah.
which also serve as the primary bell crank mount. And there's another bell crank mount that goes.
So you just cut them out to lighten the
It gets in
wood?
the fuselage. It goes between the fuse sides. You know, it braces up against the doublers. But you have essentially 4 bell crank mounts in the airplane.
What is that compression spar? Well, how long is it? 2 foot? That's a huge spar.
Well, it goes out past where the nacelles are. I wanted to transfer load out there. So it's out probably, it's probably out 24 inches a total span, you know.
That gonna be is that a twin?
This is a twin, yeah. And
You
the
know,
nacelles go where that split line is, you know, in the leading edge sheeting, you know, the chordwise split line, that's where the center line of the nacelle.
Okay.
And
You-
you
you
see
know, Bob-
the two ribs adjacent to that are positioned so they're right under the nacelle sides to take up the load. You know, so you're not just going on sheeting, you're going against a rib.
That's where your landing gear is too, right?
Landing gears are in the nacelle.
Right, but you got a double rib there, so that's right above your landing gear.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You know, Bob, it was a stroke of genius, you coming up with that type of a foam wing setup where you could make your ribs and build in that cradle. I can draw those ribs with the programs I got, but I can't. Well, I could come up with a cradle, but yours came up with it quick and easy and made a lot of guys be able to build some very accurate wings.
I wish I could say that I labored over that. It just kind of came to me one night, and I was working on a customer's wing, and then it came to me how to do it, and I stopped at about 9 o'clock at night, and I built that Tucker Special that I used to fly.
Yeah,
built that wing that night. That was the very first lost foam wing, and I had it done the next morning. You know, sheeted and cap stripped and everything, and I took it to work with me to show Frank Finelli, my associate, what it looked like. And Hal Karstens, the publisher, walked into the room and he said, "What do you got there?" And he picked it up and put his finger right through the sheeting.
Oh, gee.
And his comment was, "Oh." So for the next 2 weeks, he called me Bob instead of Hunt. That's a true story. So anyway, there the one plate is, well, actually the 2 bottom plates are on and the 1 top plate is on, and you can see they run. You can see where the leading edge shell is about halfway onto the spar.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah. So then when you sand, you have a platen underneath, so you don't get a flat spot, and you do 1 plate at a time, and you can't see, but the plates on the inside of the plates, it has been coated with Z-epoxy, heated and wiped off, and then sanded, and you know that made them very, very stiff, and yet not very heavy at all.
What's the length on that?
The wing is 63 inches.
Wow.
It's a big wing.
Now, is that Eddie Suter there?
Yes, it is.
What's that?
Hey, how you doing, Eddie? I thought it was you.
Yeah, I come out of my hole in the ground.
You ever get that plane done?
No, I've got the same shit I got done last time, just the rudder and the elevator and stab and part of the fuselage. I got the inner fuselage built.
Well, that's good. It's good to see you, Eddie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been on here in probably a year and a half.
Oh yeah, at least.
What are you
Well, it's
building
good
a
to see
house
ya.
there, Bob? You got concrete blocks?
Yeah, I mean, I want to make sure it's down. You know, you're spreading that weight out over a lot of square inches, so it's not going to crush your ribs or anything. But it really does press everything down dead flat. You know, so when you're doing that. Those are Howard likes those foam bricks I have. He thought they were good. So.
Those are
Howard. We got Dennis out of Mission in.
All right, Dennis.
Hey, Denny.
Hey, there he
Hey,
is.
Dan.
Good,
Where, where you been?
In Lynn too.
I haven't been doing any modeling and
Oh.
really didn't have any reason to come on in, and promised myself I'd get something done and I'd come and show it off. Well, I haven't got anything done. So,
Oh,
and then
no.
I talked to, Bob called me, Sparky called me the other day and, asked, we chatted a little bit and he asked if I was mad at him, or no, I'm mad at anybody else. Hell no. And so I guess I'm here as much as anything just to promise you guys I haven't been ignoring you because I'm mad at you or anything like that. It's just that I haven't had anything to show off. So,
Well, you're allowed to come in and just hang, you know?
That's
Yeah,
it's called the hangout.
It's called a hangout, right?
yeah.
Anyway, there's the fully sheeted wing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice looking wing, Bob.
And then
Here you go, John. That's all I got so far.
Oh,
Oh,
I
is
got
it nice and straight?
Fairly. I mean, it's
Yeah,
straight enough for me.
it's coming along.
It'll be as long as it's not straight into the ground, I'm fine.
That looks awesome, Bob.
yeah, there's the tips on and the flaps and everything, and the controls hooked up and everything. So
How much forward sweep you got on that trailing edge?
3/4 inch per panel.
Okay. That's about
The most I've ever used myself is 1 7/16 inches. That was on the Crossfire. Billy Weirwich used on the Juno 2.5 inches per panel.
Wow.
He still drove it with one horn.
wow.
Yeah. Pretty amazing.
Lucky Box Supreme.
No. You don't need a lucky box if you bend the horn right.
That's right. No lucky boxes.
You bend it 90 degrees to the trailing edge, not 90 degrees to the center line.
Ah,
And
Okay.
the key to making that work is, there's going to be some spring. So what you do is you position the first hinge about 5 or 6 inches out from the fuselage, because there will be a little bit of movement up or down as it goes. And it really doesn't affect it bind at all if you don't put the hinges in close to the root of the flap. And of course you have your horn staked to the trailing edge. So there's a hinge right there. It's holding everything together. And we've never had a problem. Everything is loosey goosey, and just one horn works great.
that's good to know.
Yeah, I learned that from Billy.
So if you bend the
Genesis I
horn,
had swept forward trailing edge, and I used split horns like Gialdini did on the Stingray and the Eclipse, and I had nothing but trouble getting those to work properly. I finally did, but it took a lot of work. And then Billy laughed at me. He said, "Why are you doing that? Use one horn." I said, "Well, it won't work. It's a swept forward trailing edge." He said, "Yeah, try the Juno, which is 2.5 inches per panel, and it worked like glass." No
let
luck.
me clarify something with you guys. If you bend the legs along the trail like 90 degrees to the trailing edge, how do you bend it in the center so that it goes flat along the trailing edge on both
You don't
sides?
bend the legs at all. It's a normal horn, and you just make sure that the horn upright is dead, or the arms of the horn going out, not the bent part, are dead 90 degrees to the center line of the wing.
Okay.
And it works. And then you put the actual horn drives, as I call them, right at the end of the flap. You don't let the thing go into the flap too far. I mean, it's like a 1/16 of an inch into the piece of
Right. I see what you mean. Yeah.
It works great. Sparky's got one right there.
So it's 90 degrees to the center line right here.
Yep.
Okay.
the leg is bent 90 degrees to the trailing edge.
Gotcha. Okay, I see what you mean. So
That
it's
sure
flat,
looks like
just
a
like a
leg,
normal
isn't it?
horn in the center, right along until you
Right.
exit the fuselage. Okay.
Just sand a notch in the trailing edge, Lynn.
Yes, I see what you mean. That makes sense. Thanks, Joe. Gotcha.
Yep, no worries.
Yeah, I've never known how to do that. So I've never tried a tapered trailing edge in my life because I always looked at it and went, well, that's not going to work. And I don't want to get into lucky boxes and bent up horns and
No,
buggering
you don't
around.
have to.
That makes sense to me, though. That sounds good. Awesome.
Yep.
And I only use 3 hinges. I mean, these are as free as you're going to get.
For sure.
There's lots of technical terms that I don't understand. Sometimes I have to ask people to explain them. So Len, can you help me understand what buggering around is?
Oh,
Okay, let's say
The
messing
problem is-
around. Would that work better for you?
I'm just playing with you. I thought that was
I
awesome.
know. I got you.
The guy's
That's
got to wear
great.
a hat in the house. It must be pretty cold down there.
You gotta know how to work in your garage.
We just got done taking Vegas out, so it's kind of cool over here.
Yeah.
Pretty darn cold here, I'll tell you.
What is it there? About 4 degrees?
It was
I'd have to do the calculation. I think it's go ahead, Stuart.
it was 6 this morning, and it's going down Fahrenheit, and it's going down to -4 Fahrenheit tomorrow.
Oh my goodness.
I'm
Yeah.
in middle North Tennessee, and it was 6 degrees this morning.
Wow.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
That's cold in
There you
Tennessee.
go. That's cold.
Well, it's 12 degrees here now, but tomorrow at 6 a.m. it'll be 2 degrees.
yeah.
So
Wow.
And at 7 a.m. it'll be 1 degree. So
I think your phone's broke, Sparky.
no.
So you can see how the horn drives, where you bend the horn back into the flap.
Yeah.
To the root end of the flap.
Really
And that
cool.
one has, you can see it swept forward. It's 3/4 of an inch per panel on that airplane. So,
I love
That
those
makes
I like
horn
the way you did
holders.
that.
huh?
I like the way
I
you
love
did
those.
that.
Yeah, I love the way you made those plywood horn holders.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're
Those
awesome.
horn clips, yeah.
What a great idea.
They work
That
good.
looks good for a first try for sure.
Yeah, I got lucky.
That's why they're called lucky box. Oh no, wait a minute.
What is
No,
what
no,
is a
no.
what is a lucky box? That's a serious question.
Lucky box is you have, for instance, I oftentimes on any of my controls I use you can buy a piece of brass tubing, it's square tubing or rectangular tubing, and it's got an inside dimension there on that square piece of 1/8 by 1/4. And I have done that just to make sure I don't get sticky flaps. I've used those, put that piece in the end piece like that, and then put the horn straight into it, right in the middle. And that
Your
allows
horn's
any
flopping
flaps-
around in there like that. It slides.
It'll slide in and out. Yeah, so
you-
it goes up, it'll slide.
You constrain it vertically, but you don't constrain it horizontally.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Exactly. You hit it
And
right
it's,
on the
and
nose.
it's not even required.
And it works.
It works, but it's one more thing to go wrong.
Yeah, it's one more thing that isn't necessary, I realize now.
Yeah.
How did they get named lucky boxes?
A fellow by the name of Lucky Pyatt.
Oh, okay.
That was his name.
Oh, they used them and they were lucky that they worked.
Lucky Pyatt was the guy that, as I knew it, was the guy that developed them.
It does give you room for error in and out and left and right and up and down where things can give a little as it's moving.
Yeah, but
If you
anything
can
that
build
moves,
perfectly,
anything
you
that
do
moves
not
is going to
need
wear
to.
out eventually.
They will, but who here flies an airplane 1,000 times in their life? 3 of us? 3 of us? Okay. There you go.
Right.
Well, it's not so much how much you fly, it's how much you think you're going to fly.
I've only had one airplane that I think I put 1,000 flights on it, and I gave it to Stuart.
I can guarantee you,
It's
I'm
no
not going to
longer
fly
in
any more
existence.
1,000 flights. That's for sure.
What's that, Bob?
I'm not going to fly another 1,000 flights, that's for sure. I'm lucky if I go to the field to fly one at a time, one per day
There
with
you
my
go.
legs and back.
Hey,
That's right.
Denny,
Yeah.
Denny Adamison.
Oh, Danny, I thought you said 80.
No,
Oh.
Danny, he's playing with his phone. I don't know.
Denny, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Did you renew your draft site or did you let it go?
Let it go.
What are you using now?
Pencil and paper.
Hey,
Oh,
the
my
old
goodness.
new reliable. It never screws up. Don't have to plug it in or nothing.
That's right.
Yeah, you don't have to reboot a piece of paper.
I'm still looking at that thread we have on Stunt Hangar on that, and there were a couple of pretty good looking suggestions there. I was looking for a while. I was looking at getting a new computer, and I had to give up on that or put it aside for a while. And so that was going to help drive my decision too, how much computer I got and how much stuff I was going to use. I'm a member of EAA, so I can get to SolidWorks, which is spectacular.
That's a good choice.
Yeah. So that, and it may be the best choice, but I don't know. It's still very much in the wait and see thing.
Okay. Yeah, mine is no longer, my subscription is no longer in force.
Well, I
I'm
thought you had
playing
got
with,
the AutoCAD.
I did.
Okay.
And
How's that working out?
it's worked out good, except I messed up. I forgot the my password and I screwed up and I got to play around with it and get my password back. I got it somewhere and then I can go back and use it. But it works just fine. It loads up. It's got some 3D ability, the newer versions of AutoCAD. So I mean, it's SolidWorks. I still think is probably the best for if you want to
Yeah.
do 3D work.
Mm-hmm.
You do know you can find torrents on all that stuff, right?
Like
Yeah.
what?
It's not
You can-
supported though.
You know, you're not going to get supported, but you can use it.
Like,
Well, there's a program out there that I've got loaded on, and I think if I spent a couple 10 hours or so learning the ins and outs of it, it would be really a good program. That's called I think it's called FreeCAD,
Yeah.
LibreCAD. Is that right? Yeah, LibreCAD, and it seems to be it's a free program, and it's kind of an open platform, so you can get in there if you want really get into it. You can make it do all kinds of things, and you got a lot.
SketchUp is no good.
What?
SketchUp is no good.
I've never used it, so I can't tell.
Well, that's a Google product. SketchUp. The only thing I don't like about it is that if when you save something or whatever, it's out there for everybody.
It's what?
It's out there for everybody to use.
Oh, well, I don't like that at all. The thing is this LibreCAD seems to be, they're getting pretty powerful, it appears, and it's worth looking at. See if it's something that's worthwhile to you.
How about the most powerful CAD program on the internet that's free? Blender.
I haven't used that. I've basically used AutoCAD and AutoCAD clones like DraftSite.
Well, that Blender will take your CAD drawing and turn it into a mesh. It's impressive.
Turn it into a mess?
Mesh.
Mesh. Oh.
Yeah. One of the problems that I've found, Sparky, and I don't know because I haven't used that program, but one of the problems I've found where you have a program do something with a basic drawing is it really screws up in the end. For instance, on AutoCAD, on many of the CAD programs, I can bring in a vector drawing, somebody, regular, like even a picture I can bring in and I can have it, I can run it through there and it will turn it into a CAD drawing. But it's got so many errors in that by the time you figure them out, straighten them out and fix them up, you could have drawn the whole dang thing all by yourself.
That stunt pattern that Joe was talking about, today, where it's making a turn and going
That's
around.
Blender.
That's Blender.
That's Blender.
Yeah.
It's
Like
the
I said,
most,
I've never used Blender, so I
the
don't.
most powerful CAD program out there, and it's free. It's open source.
I
But
like
it's
that one
got a
called.
lot of buttons in it.
I like
That's
that
what
one called.
LibreCAD is. It's open source. Now the one that Howard's running, I just read, is the number one after AutoCAD in PC based machines. I didn't know that, but you done good getting it, Howard. You spent the time to learn how to use it.
Here's my CAD right here.
Yeah, I was going to say I like that one called Pencil.
Yeah.
Well, Pencil works good, except when you have to make changes.
No, it's
When
called
you're trying to-
Eraser.
And when
Yeah.
you're trying to make a drawing that's going to be published, or you want to make multiple copies of it, things like that.
That's called UPS.
Staples.
Boy,
Well, I'll tell you,
Staples.
I was a hand drafter for years before I ever took it up on the digital. And I will tell you that I went fighting into it. I thought I could do it faster by hand than I could, and I could because I didn't know how to use the CAD program. But once I learned how to use the CAD program, I never looked back.
CAD to me is cardboard aided design.
Well, that's because you don't understand it.
That's true.
Hey, guys, I think it's time for this West Coast guy to go get some dinner too.
All right.
You getting called?
Huh?
You getting called?
I'm sorry?
You getting called by the boss?
Is your wife calling?
Wife calling?
Is your wife calling you to dinner?
No, I don't have one of those.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't have a boss.
Well, that's good.
Me
You're
self-employed.
the
I
boss.
want to
That's
know how he
awesome.
got those bruises on his forehead then. Did somebody whack you?
My forehead?
Yeah.
Last Monday night after we finished up, I walked out of here and lost my balance and did a face plant on the carpet.
Oh,
Oh.
oh.
So
I
now,
feel for you.
Well, at least
No,
you didn't
I have
land
my-
on some airplanes.
Was
Yeah, I
the
landed on
carpet
airplanes.
okay? Was the carpet okay, Mike?
yeah, that came out all right. My glasses, not so much, but I now have my walker parked right there in the hallway, and so I've got a rail to hang on to as I'm going around.
Good
the corner.
idea.
Show.
So that'll
Be
help.
safe.
It's hell to get old, ain't it?
Howard, are you still on here?
I am, yeah.
Hey, good to see you.
Good to
It's
see
been a
you.
while.
Yeah,
So, everything going okay?
everything's okay.
Good. Glad to hear it. Well, I look forward to seeing you probably, well, we'll see. We get caught up somewhere here.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right. All right, guys, I'm gonna go try to get through the rest of the evening without falling down.
Yeah, don't do that.
We'll do that.
Yeah, avoid that.
Take it easy,
Here,
Mike.
Mike.
Bye, Mike.
Take care, Mike.
If you do feel like you're gonna fall down, get away from your airplanes. They
Yeah.
make a terrible sound when you land on them.
All right.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Bye now.
So here's an example of Pencil program.
Pencil program. I like
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
it. Nice.
that works.
Very sharp.
Pencils will always work good.
I
Yeah.
noticed
just-
50% of the windy factor in there.
What?
I noticed 50% of the windy factor in the
What's that?
fuselage. A former, what do you got? A former every 1.5 or 2 inches?
No, mine are closer to 3 inches. You know.
Well, windy is every inch, so you're.
Oh, or less. That's all right.
I put 1 in there. Everybody else has got 50.
I got a question for Danny.
Yes, sir.
You know, now that the weather's getting better, are you planning your contest this year? And if so, when?
Well, we're anticipating doing it the same Memorial Day Saturday like we did before. Probably still
Ah,
have to do a 1-day contest because Sunday, everybody clears out for the race and everything like that. So pretty much like we've been doing it. The club is putting together the all the meets for the year. And I think by the February meeting in about 2 weeks, we'll have it locked down. I should be able to start making some noise about it. But
okay.
and I do have a little small bone to pick with you though about how this weather is cleaning up. Right now we have 6 degrees. Wind chill feels like -5. Tomorrow we'll have a high of 12 and a low of, well, we won't have a temperature.
No,
We
it's
won't have a
negative
temperature.
tomorrow.
That's our low. No
But
temperature. So
I think it's going to be 48 degrees here on Saturday. So
Where are you
Bob
at?
and I,
Danny?
Bob and I can go flying.
you're bragging or complaining. 48 degrees? Jeez.
Yeah,
Denny, where you located?
St. Louis.
Denny.
Oh, Denny's up in Indiana.
Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Fort Wayne.
Okay.
Hey, Denny.
Sort of
All I gotta
probably
say is, Lynn,
northeast of you there. So
Lynn, you can have your weather back. We're tired of it down here.
Send it up. Well, I'm okay. Hey, I'm still flying every day. I flew today in this.
No.
One flight.
did you?
Yeah, one flight.
I'll tell you what, guys, those guys are they're pretty tough up there in the 51st state.
Yeah.
Why do you guys keep doing that?
You notice they
Because it's
paved the
fun.
way. They got rid of their
You guys can't help yourselves, can you?
Yeah.
You just can't.
No.
That's the other reason I came back, Lenny.
We
I
don't
was
want you
hoping
anyhow.
I was hoping you and Stewart would be here. So
How many
Well,
provinces
you hope-
are there in Canada? Len, how many provinces are there?
12 or
How
13?
many provinces
Wait a minute.
and
We know
territories?
exactly how many states we have. You don't know how many provinces you have?
I think you got about 6 or 7.
No,
No,
I
there's
think
more
it's
than that.
12 or 13.
What? Nobody
Stuart, do you know
knows,
for sure?
including the
There's
Canuck.
provinces and
Know how many...
there's 2 territories and how many provinces?
Good point. The Northwest Territory is not truly a province.
It's not
Is that what you
considered
mean?
one. It's considered a territory.
Okay. And what about the island
Stuart's
provinces?
not
There's a whole bunch of
answering me
them.
because I bet he doesn't know either.
He's looking it up.
What about the ocean
He's looking it up.
provinces? Nova
Lots of
Scotia
provinces
and
in
New
Canada.
Brunswick and all of that. Are those?
Canada has 10 provinces and 3 territories.
10
Yeah,
provinces.
10
3
provinces, 2 territories.
So,
That's
that,
right.
3.
so that's 13.
3 territories.
Less
Okay.
easy to remember than 51.
That's 13. No, Bob. That's 13 plus 50 is 63. And then we're going to buy Greenland. So we'll have 64 states.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't forget Panama.
I like it.
We're knowing them all.
Yeah, 65 with Panama.
Hey, guys, don't hold your breath.
We don't need it.
Dennis,
Don't hold your breath.
contest you're talking about. I just wanted
Hey,
to.
I'm not criticizing in any way, just you guys have your thing and I'm happy for you and we have our thing and
We don't
That's the way
offer
we're
it to
doing it.
anybody we don't like.
You have your thing and you're not
Lance?
happy with it, right?
2
yeah,
words.
we're happy with what we got.
Or Len and Stewart. 2 words. No. What is it? No Mac. All right.
What's no
No-
Mac
no-
mean?
If you're the 51st state, no Mac.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no Mac. Yeah, that's true. Okay, I got that. That I would
That
could
understand.
be.
that'll push you right over the side, doesn't it?
I'm good with that one. I'm definitely good with that one.
All right.
Dennis, your contest you have, where's it gonna be?
Well, it's there at our club field in Fort Wayne, actually, Jefferson Township Park, which doesn't mean anything. It's near I-69 and Highway 30.
Okay. I
East
just
of Fort
wondered,
Wayne, just inside the border from Ohio. And
you commented on the race. Is that nearby?
well, the race being the Indianapolis 500,
Oh, okay.
which is the national holiday in the state of Indiana. So basically, anybody who's volunteering to help run our meet on Saturday, they're not in. They're in there at the race on Sunday. So
Or watching it.
they're either watching it or most of them are there. So
How far are you from the race?
2 hours.
Okay.
About 80 miles from Muncie. If you want to go to Muncie, you probably came right past us. And see, about 2 hours from Indianapolis.
Okay. Just curious.
Basically, Stuart, probably about 5 hours from here.
Yeah.
Oh, a nice contest.
My cousin was heading down to the races. If it was close by, then I'd probably maybe do something, but it's not that close.
Well, if you want to go to the race too, you can use Fort Wayne as a jumping off point. That's probably about the closest hotel you get to Indianapolis anyway. So.
I'll be right.
True enough.
Go stay with Matt Newman.
Mike McHenry.
Or
can walk-
Dan
he can
Winship.
walk
He
to the
lives in
races.
Playfield. He lives right there, you know.
Mikey walks to the races.
Wow.
I would imagine there's no way to get tickets to that, right, Denny?
What, to the race?
Yeah.
I never try. So see, I'm not from here, so I'm not completely absorbed by the race or anything like that. I've never even tried actually.
You're
Is there any-
a Michigander, aren't you?
I used to work for Borg Warner, and we used to sponsor a weekend, for our customers, and like during qualifying, used to take them down there on either a Friday or a Saturday, and I managed to get myself excused out of that every single time because it was like, I don't want to spend a day, at the racetrack,
Aren't you from Michigan originally?
Yes.
What I thought.
I'm just not a race fan, that's all.
That's cool.
I have no problem with it. But I'm a race fan the way I'm a Kentucky Derby horseman. I for about 5 minutes a year I'm a horseman. So
My granddad, he was a Mason, and some of his Masonic buddies, one of them had a motorhome, and they'd all load up in it and go up there to the race, and never buy a ticket. They'd sit out in the parking lot and watch it in the camper.
mhm.
Why
You
would
can do
you
that
eat?
too.
To
But
each
they were
his own.
But they were at the Indy 500, they could say.
Oh yeah, yeah. He brought me T-shirts and stuff all the time because they'd go in and buy the souvenirs, but never go in to sit down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's
right
a
where I
pretty
live,
big place.
it's a big deal because Mario Andretti lives about a mile and a half in that direction.
I think the last race he went to is the one Johnny Rutherford went airborne on.
A
Wow.
long time ago.
Yeah,
The 80s.
That's a pretty big place. I would assume you could get in there. General admission.
That right now there's no tickets available for Sunday, but there's tickets available on all the practice days.
Aren't the Masons the one who decide who wins that every year?
No. Is there any Americans in it?
Sure.
I thought most of them was all foreigners racing in it.
Yeah, but they're all driving Hondas and Toyotas.
Well, that's foreigners too.
Chevys. And Chevys and Hondas.
Anyhow. Yeah, I always thought you could get into the infield without a seat also.
You might.
That's where the guys with the motorhomes usually end up. So
I think you can get in there, but there's just no bleacher, no seating. Standing.
most of them get in there with their motorhome and put something up on the roof of the motorhome
Or get in there with the motorhome and watch it on TV inside.
Exactly. Exactly.
We get a
Makes
better
sense.
view.
Well, they turned it. Yeah, but they can. Yeah, Bob, they do that, but they watch it on TV, but they turn the sound off. So
That's good.
It takes all types, y'all.
But you can still get tickets for the AMA Stunt Nats.
Yes, and we go do that, and they wouldn't even think about that. Oh, good.
We talk about them more than they talk about us, though.
Yeah.
They don't know us.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
I'll tell you,
No, I don't.
Dennis, the people in Muncie don't even know that the AMA is there.
Not very many.
Speaking of Muncie, is
I'm sure they do. They all know it. They all know it. All the people at 12th Street know it. So
Yeah, 12th Street, but you go out into town and say, they say, what are you here for? Well, we're here for the Nationals. What Nationals? The model airplanes. Well, where's that at? You can ask anybody.
You know, there's a lot of Indy 500. There's a lot of Indy 500 drivers, or in the past and even current, were model airplane flyers. Danny and
That's cool.
Johnny Rutherford, AJ Foyt, who was taught to fly by who, Denny?
I don't know that.
Jack
I don't know that
Sheets.
story. Really? Okay.
Yep. Jack taught AJ Foyt how to fly. Rick Mears, who I interviewed when I was at Flying Model, they gave me his home phone number, and I was able to interview him because he flew model airplanes. Pretty cool.
Rutherford was full-scale pilot also.
Yeah.
Flew Mustang.
And what's his name? Montoya. He was also a RC flyer, but he also flew some control line.
Wow, I had no idea.
Rick Mears any kin to James and Bob and Andy?
I don't know. I know he had brothers and father that raced. They did he started out doing Boston races down in California. So that may be that family.
Well, his brother Roger was a motocross racer or something like that, motorcycle.
Roger Mears. Yeah.
The Mears boys in Texas, they drag cars. Mazda drag cars.
I drug a car one time.
Drug it.
I pushed a couple. Yeah. I haven't dragged one. I pushed a couple.
Yeah, me too. That's why I got a bad back today, pushing too many cars.
In the snow.
Yeah, you're right, Joe.
In
And Honda. Pushing them in the Honda parking lot, trying to help people get out.
You don't want a chain.
Snowstorm.
You want a jerk rope for pulling cars out. Forget the chain.
Right.
Oh my God.
Stored kinetic energy.
I can remember nights after a shift and leaving there, and there's 2.5, 3 feet of snow out in the parking lot, and we're all out there pushing cars. I wish I hadn't done that now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
When I was driving up through the Yukon Territory heading to Alaska, there's a spot up there where you're going across the border of the British Columbia and up into Yukon Territory and back down into British Columbia and back. There's a little town up there. I forget the name of that town. But I was just coming up to that town, and it was middle of the night, and I had a car. He wanted to pass me, so I tried to move over, to let him get by. And something enough, I didn't catch a wheel in that snow. It was 7 foot deep down in the bar pit there, and that sucker sucked me down into there. And my pickup was pretty heavy, so it didn't turn over. But I was like this far from being out. I got down and up, and I opened up the engine compartment. The engine was still running, but that whole thing was full of snow, just packed solid as snow. And I'm sitting there, it's 40 below zero, and I'm sitting there with lounge shoes on and a light jacket like this, you know, because I had a heater in that truck. What the heck? Well, it finally dawned on me I was in a heap of trouble, and a Canadian truck driver came by, stopped, and he said, "Let's see if I can pull you out." And so he got his chain out, and it was that far too short. So they took off one of the chains that he had draped on there for his wheels.
Wow.
And hooked that on there and wrapped that around my bumper, and he pulled me out of that sucker, you know. And I hadn't
Wow.
turned the engine off, so it was still running.
Good
And
boy.
so I staggered into that town. Now this is where it gets funny. I staggered into that town. I said, "This is a good place for me to stop, sleep, and in the morning I'll get up and take care of any problems I got to take care of." So I did that. Had a nice night's sleep. I got up next morning. It was still 40 below zero. Might even been a little colder than that. And jumped out there, started the truck up, and it started up pretty quick. And went to pull out, I couldn't. I, like a fool, I put the emergency brake on it. It was frozen.
Ah.
And I had to back up all over that parking lot, back up to get that heated up enough to where I could get it broke loose far enough that I could go forward. And that's how I made the rest of my way up to Alaska.
Jeez.
It was a fun trip.
Then you came home and fell on your airplanes.
And I came home, fell on the airplane. Yeah. God, that was.
You weren't here for that, Denny. He had a.
Oh yeah, Denny. My poor Torino is destroyed.
Oh, no.
The two bits biplane has got the rudder broke off and the rear stabilizer is broken. Pathfinder LE, this is what I can see. The cabin elevator are broke. And those are the ones that I can see that are broke. And they made a terrible sound when I landed on them and then rolled around to try to get off of them because I didn't know where I was in the dark.
So you probably did more damage trying to get up than you did falling on them.
I think so. I truly do. I truly do think so.
Sounds to me like you got some more. You're going to have some extra room there, and you'll be able to build a few more airplanes. That's all.
Yeah, that's one way of looking at it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually, everything that I can see here is fixable. It's just
Look for the silver lining, huh, Denny?
Get going on it.
Look for the silver lining, right?
Well,
That's
I wanted
exactly
to
it.
put a bigger rudder on that biplane, so that now the rudder's knocked off, so I can easily do that. And
You're halfway there.
Put a
Don't
bigger
say
stab
rudder
and
when Bob
elevator
is
on it.
around.
And just
Say
leave
what?
it off.
Don't say rudder when Bob is around.
Oh, he
With
don't like
rudder?
rudders.
He
That's
don't need
right.
no stinking rudder.
Birds don't have rudders.
On a tethered airplane.
And look at it this way, John. It's always darkest just before it gets pitch black.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
no.
it was a dumb thing to do, you know. Now I make sure I get up and go make sure that door is open before I turn that light off.
Have a night light. You talking
Oh,
about
I never
pitch
thought
black?
of that.
Talking about pitch black. My eyesight's got so bad. I close my eyes and the dark's blurry.
Ed, you're right. Hey, Ed, how did that cutter work out for you in the end?
Oh, it's great. As far as cutting the ribs and everything, and those castle pieces for the bulkheads, works great. We're
Great.
trying to hand cut all the notches on those.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I
Real
wish it,
Steve Smith, just for a minute.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
what do we
Oh,
got
look
there?
at that. I know what those are.
I just wish it would cut 1/8 inch, but 3/16 is as far as it'll go, or 3/32. I mean,
There's somebody here locally within 100 miles of me that's advertising a laser cutter, and it looks like it's got the big bed on it, and he's got a couple other precision cutting tools there, but he didn't put any prices on it, and I just don't know whether to dial him up and say, "What do you want for that laser cutter?" And he'll say $8,000, and I'll say,
sorry, click.
"Yeah."
Hey, Sparky, did you get that letter I sent you?
When?
Oh, I sent you a money order. I sent you some money. Did it come in or not?
No?
Your post
Okay, well,
office
it
is
might
working
come.
again, Lynn?
What's that?
Your post office is working again?
Oh yeah, we're all up in business again now. We're all good.
There's
Things are
still losing
happening.
mail in, huh?
Got new leaders.
I
You're
got
gonna be
the
the
first,
51st state. You got to keep that stuff working, you know?
That's right, yeah.
I got the first money order you sent me, but I never got anything else that I
There,
can.
there should be another one coming. It's just a small one to cover your postage for
Well,
sending the motor.
Okay.
Then would you
Sending the
guys
motor
feel
parts.
better
And I sent one to I sent one to you as well, Gary.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Calendar.
I got it.
Oh, you got
Yeah.
it? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
did you get
awesome.
your
Okay, well,
calendar?
I haven't got it yet. It'll come.
Oh, okay.
Our post office is pretty slow, so they're getting
Yeah,
it together
they
slowly.
only
You'll
send
be all
stuff.
right
They
when
don't
you're the
deliver it.
51st state.
And would you guys feel better if we made you the 13 new states out of you instead of
Oh my
one?
God, here we go.
We don't need them, y'all. Leave it alone.
You're
We
outnumbered.
can't
You
take
got to
care of
just.
ourselves. We
Hey.
sure can't take care of them.
Hey,
Well,
you know what?
I'd love to be able to walk around saying,
Hey.
hey,
Hey, I love you guys. Don't worry about it. It's all in good fun.
it
You're
is
outnumbered.
good.
Just go with the
It's all
flow.
good.
Oh man,
You know we love you. We wouldn't invite you to join us if we didn't like you.
most definitely.
That's like,
Can't
Now
think of
that
anywhere
you're
I'd
ready-
rather go.
I found
like
out
me.
today that one of the executive orders he signed was no more corn around the L pad at Muncie.
Oh my God.
The free fighters may have fixed that for us.
I have a question about that.
Go ahead.
Does that, no, the corn around the L pad, does that induce any kind of bad
Sure it
turbulence?
does. Yeah.
Makes lots
Horrible.
of thermals too.
Because it,
Oh, yeah.
it was right there this year.
But did you hear that the NFFS is partnering with AMA? They're paying half the cost to not plant corn this year. They're going to plant soybeans instead of corn.
Oh, good.
Because the NFFS doesn't want their airplanes to thermalizing into the corn and getting lost.
Yeah.
Have you ever walked in a cornfield that's taller than your head?
Yeah.
You can die in there, man. It's hot.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. You get
can die
you
in
get lost too.
Dang,
The,
it's hot.
Big
Well,
time.
right.
Holy cat.
that's gonna spoil the FCM pictures though.
Mm.
He's got a couple of pictures. Alan Goff used to like staging that. We'd stage a picture with everybody carrying their airplanes walking out of the cornfield.
If you build it, they'll
if you
come.
build it, they will come.
Well, that's not a new thing. They had soybeans in there before.
Yeah.
They used to alternate.
Well, I thought I read they were going to put grass there.
Probably not that.
No, they lease that out to farmers to make some money.
Yeah, I
And
don't think
soybeans there. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't, NFSS, it's probably better than corn, but you can,
Beans will eat you up.
I was flying
You wait through
sailplanes. We
beans, they're
had
sharp.
people used to lose sailplanes out there or parts of sailplanes actually, but,
Well, no, we'll have two bean fields.
Well, yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. One year when I came to the Nats, there was beans out there. It was just like being at home. It was awesome.
Yeah.
At the
If you have
bean
to go
field
looking
right
for a
next door.
stunt ship,
We were prepping you for becoming the 51st state, you know.
Speaking of the
you go
Nats,
look-
that's
when
all
will-
right. They're prepping us to be the 11th province. So,
Yeah.
or maybe the 5th territory. I
If
don't
you have
know.
to go looking for a
Yeah,
stunt
you
ship,
guys can.
if you have
We'll
to go
take
look
y'all.
for a stunt ship in the
No
corn,
problem.
you got more problems than just, the corn.
Yeah. No, it
I
wasn't
can
a stunt
talk
plane, it
like
was
you
a
guys. We'll
sailplane,
take
but-
y'all. No problem.
That's right.
So when will they post the schedule for the Nats?
Good question.
Well, one day they're going to fly old time and classic. Another day they're going to fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First,
I never
first
crowd,
will be
huh?
beginner and intermediate on Sunday,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then Monday will be old time and class.
Start the rounds for.
Although I think
expert
didn't
nut.
Mark Weiss say we got the Saturday back somehow?
I think he did.
But they're not going to use it unless it's a backup date's what I
That's good.
understood.
Mhm.
But I could
Okay.
be wrong. Don't quote that for fact.
And we have an event director. So.
Well, we better use it because
Mhm.
you very rarely get something back once you take it. They take it away.
That's right.
I've only
Use it or
been one
lose it.
time, and I think it was. Let's see here. I got my pictures.
We can have a triple event meet, stunt, racing, and combat with the same airplane
On the pavement.
on the pavement. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
my.
Yeah, you guys want to? I want to see how many stunt guys want to fly concrete combat. I don't think so. It
Well, wait a minute. That sounds a little bit like Jim Walker, doesn't it? The Jim Walker event.
was a good event. That was a lot of fun. We used to fly
Yeah.
that.
Hey,
That'd be a
is
good
that
one.
true that Paul Smith got elected to something or other? The Canadian guy that flies 1,000 events at
He's
Brodak?
not Canadian. He's
Isn't
not
he?
Canadian. No, he's
Mm-mm.
American.
He was a pilot in the Air Force for a long time.
Yeah,
He's from the
in
Detroit
Michigan.
area, and last I heard,
Yeah,
he
he's
was
in
just
Michigan.
he just took
Lansing,
over
yeah.
the Strathmore Model Club.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know, the historic Strathmore Club. There's still some remnants there.
Got a
Bob
new
McDowell.
He apparently published some pictures. So
He comes up here quite regularly to fly at our field.
Does he?
Or you can keep him.
Yeah, the only time I've ever been to the Nats was when I came up here. It was in 2021, and I really enjoyed it. But I haven't had the money or the PTO time to spend a week, up there because I'm either sick and have to take PTO days and stuff like that. So I don't have them saved up. But I'd really like to get back up there this year, just to
It'd be good to see
shake
you
hands
there.
with some of you guys again.
It'd be good to see you there, Eddie.
it would.
Have you been to Brodak yet?
No, I can't. That's a little far drive for me just to go up there and watch.
Well, there's plenty of airplanes there. I'm sure somebody'd let you fly one.
Oh yeah. But if I come back up there, I'm gonna try to. I would like to compete just to see if I can do it, if my body will physically let me.
Well, get that airplane done. It'll fly back.
I'm trying to get this damn shithole. Well, excuse me, this workshop cleaned up so I could get my new table in. So I got to have a good table to build that wing. I don't want to have a dihedral in it and not supposed to.
Yeah.
Get you a good wooden door. A good wooden door.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a table that my wife got from her work several years ago. It's an industrial steel table, and I'm going to put a sheet of 3/4 inch plywood on it, and have that.
Put 5/8 drywall on top of it. Just cut a
There
piece
you
of
go.
on top.
John's got it.
Hey
A
guys, let
sheet
me
of
close out
drywall
the
and then
let me close out the YouTube channel. You don't have to leave. You're gonna have the after party. Appreciate you guys watching there on YouTube. Thank you very much for the super chat there, Roy. Let's see what, yeah, Roy Lane. And make sure you like, subscribe, and share. I'll be back on tomorrow working on my airplane. I appreciate you guys coming in and watching me and having a good time. Let's see. And Wayne Rice says, you guys are great. Thanks for all the information. You're more than welcome. And of course, Danielberry Sports said, yo, and Mark Gerber said he was just here for halftime. Buckeyes are ahead 21-7, whatever that is.
More than that
Well,
now.
they're up
You know,
31
you
to
should have
15
done
now.
a
So.
spoiler alert because I'm recording that. And I didn't want to.
Oh, no.
Blah 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 blah.
It ain't over yet.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Fair winds, tight line.
Good
See ya.
night.
All right, John, the drywall, is that just to be able to pin stuff down?
Well,
that's part of it.
That's part